All right. How about some real news instead of fake news? Detained tough students Rümeysa Öztürk ordered released on bail. Turkish Americans rise up. The Turkish lobby wins again. Erdogan sends his regards.
She is free. She is free.
What we heard from the court today is what we have been saying for weeks and what courts have continued to repeat up and down through the litigation of this case thus far. There's absolutely no evidence that justifies detaining Ms. Öztürk for a single day.
It's so crazy that the government just decided, like, hey, how about we just facilitate insane false arrests, kidnapping people, black bagging them in the middle of the goddamn street with no actual due process whatsoever, no real reason whatsoever. And then let's admit that we're actually doing that because they've hurted the feelings of Israel, the most moral nation on the planet, of course. Don't forget, guys, I hope you said your Am Israel highs this morning, okay? If you did it, you might get your door broken. All right? Even in France, I say my Am Israel highs. Don't worry, okay? Trust me. I never forget my 3 Am Israel highs. Yeah. You got to do 3 Am Israel highs and 3 I condemn Hamas and 3 I condemn Hezbollah and 3 I condemn Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And fuck it. Say you condemn the Palestinian Authority too. Who cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Am Israel high, mon ami, is what I say it. And I condemn Hamas. Like, I condemn Hamas so hard.
Let alone the 6.5 weeks that she has been detained because she wrote a single op-ed in her student newspaper exercising her First Amendment right to express an opinion. What the court said today was that she had satisfied her burden. She had established...
You better. Brigade Juvie and Jugay Coupable are basically Beitar. There's like a French Beitar? Really? What are they going to do? Cry? Like, I don't understand. What can you really do in France? Like, French Beitar? What's their method? They're like, I'm very disappointed in you. Oh, what the hell? I will protest. I will protest you. Actually, they did cry and pretend to be victim at rally. No. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy. The guy who, like, ran into a crowd of pro-Palestinian supporters and then fall down and start crying on the ground. Wasn't that the French Beitar? Merde, they are doing this to me. Look at what le wokism has done. Look at what le wokism has done. Islamagoshism. They are doing Islamagoshism. Please, save me, Macron. Macron, oui, save me. Le wokism.
She had what he called very significant First Amendment and Fifth Amendment due process claims, which will be litigated during her habeas petition hearing before this court. And in the interim, she will be released on bail immediately from Louisiana. One of the dangers of what we are seeing in the government's behavior in this case is the very strong message it sends to people who are watching that you can be punished by your speech. And what we heard from the court today was confirmation that that is not what we do in this country.
That's right.
That the First Amendment protects your right to speak. It protects your ability to remain at liberty and free. And Ms. Öztürk is going to be walking out of the Louisiana Detention Center today.
Oh yeah, this is the guy. This is the French Zionist. Dude, I love this one. This one's one of my favorite. How the f do you know Islamagoshism? I'm a political autist, dude. What do you mean? Merde! They are killing me, bro. It's so funny. He's like crawling in between them to try to get a better shot. Classic Classic move, sir. Excellent. Like a toddler with poop in his diapers, dude. Ah, merde. Le wokisme. Le islamo-gauchisme. Merde. Bro wanted that yellow card so hard. He is flopping, dude. L3 podcast every week. Yeah, this is pretty much Ethan every week. You've attacked me. Here is the name of everyone that's involved in your family. We are going to dox them, and they're all anti-Semitic. Oh, it's so funny. When I'm at the function and nobody's with me, okay? Think about how anti-Semitic that is, that nobody actually gave him the dignity of a little kick or something. You know what I mean? No, they're picking me up anti-Semitically. They are picking me up, but in the anti-Semitic style. Wow, what are you doing? Sacre bleu. I was there, by the way. Legit thought he was having an epilepsy attack. Yeah, no, it was just a vaccine injury, chatter. You were, don't worry. He got the gay vaccine. White pants are a choice too. God, such a awesome French spectacle right there. In the video, French man just say, "What are you doing? No one hit you." Yeah, if you love Israel too much, this is what happens. Sometimes you find yourself walking up to a crowd of people that you assume are Muslim and just flopping like a soccer player. You're baiting to hit that yellow card real hard.
Today with another one of our co-counsel so that she can come home, she can come back to her community, she can come back to Somerville, she can come back to her academics, and she can continue the life that she should be able to live.
Back, we want to tell you about some breaking news in a high-profile immigration case. A federal judge in Vermont just ordered the release of detained Tufts doctoral student Rümeysa Öztürk. So let's go now to CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, you were following this development during a bail hearing for the Turkish national. So what can you tell us about what happened in court?
The judge said that the detention of Rümeysa Öztürk could not stand. He said that bail was necessary. He talked about, a lot of this hearing was about her asthma condition, and he talked about how keeping her in detention could cause irreparable harm to her health if it's continued. He also said that it appears that she has just been detained due to an op-ed that she wrote, and that he sees a very substantial First Amendment claim here, as well as due process issues. So this seemed to be a very clear-cut case for the judge. He also did not in any way deem her to be a danger to society or a flight risk. He didn't even put any travel restrictions on Rümeysa Öztürk. He said that it's clear to him from her testimony and from also letters that he's received about her that she is someone who is really committed to her academics, that he doesn't see any threat, that he thinks that she's just going to continue her studies at Tufts, and if anything, she needs to have some freedom so that she can go present at academic conferences and continue to be part of that community.
Okay, good.
Wow. Anti-Semitism once again. Wow, I can't believe the maximum anti-Semitism that came from this judge that didn't just like simply demand the death penalty. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Same fit today? No, I'm wearing a different fit. What do you mean? I'm wearing a different shirt. I'm wearing a different hoodie.
Mr. Kaufman, thank you so much for getting us that breaking news. In fact, there's a press conference happening outside the courthouse right now, so let's listen in.
That the government has literally only one single piece of evidence for detaining Rümeysa. And that is the op-ed that she
Don't say
wrote.
it. No. The op-ed that she wrote, I mean, death penalty. Death penalty. I mean, come on. Like, you can't write an op-ed that hurts Israel's feelings. Like, what are we doing here? That's not allowed. An op-ed? Terrorist. Twitch streamer? Terrorist. Stub my toe? Somehow you're at fault. Anti-Semitic terrorist. I like that is kind of the, that's kind of how things go nowadays under the Trump administration is like, eventually it's going to turn into like, your favorite YouTuber is upset because people don't like him anymore. Well, that's terrorism. That's anti-Semitic terrorism that has to be dealt with. we must throw everyone in jail.
In her student newspaper, expressing views that the government disagrees with or dislikes. And the court affirmed today.
I can't believe this terrorist is openly saying terroristic things like, they're admitting it. They're admitting her crime. You see this, chat? Do you see this, chat? Look how shameless these terrorists are, that they're just openly admitting that they did a crime, which is writing stuff that wasn't just like how sick Donald Trump is. And CBS News is now platforming the terrorists. They're also terrorists.
The basic and fundamental First Amendment principle that we all hold dear, that is not something that you can lock people up for. So we're so excited and so happy for Rümeysa, and we're so happy that this court affirmed the basic principles that we've been fighting for all along and will continue to fight for.
Go ACLU!
6 weeks ago, ICE agents abducted Rümeysa from her community in retaliation for her speech defending Palestinian human rights. The court's decision today explicitly acknowledges that this type of retaliatory conduct chills the speech of not just Rümeysa, but millions of non-citizens in this country. That's right. And it's explicitly in violation of the Constitution.
This is literally a pogrom. This is yet another pogrom. America has fallen. People can't be safe anymore while also saying that they love Israel. It's very clear. I don't feel safe. I love the state of Israel. She is beautiful to me. And I feel so unsafe now. It seems like CBS News is getting their Qatar money. Those Qatar checks must have been cashed recently. This is basically multiple 9/11s.
We are appreciative of the court granting Ms. Öztürk Rümeysa release today, and we are moved by the court's reflection, very thoughtful reflection of all of the evidence that was been put forward by Ms. Öztürk and the complete lack of evidence being put forth by the government.
Lamar, that guy saying that's right. Is Leslie the old radicalist type you'd love up here in Burlington? Do you know why all these cases are being heard in Vermont? Luckily, both Rümeysa and also Mohsen had a connection to Vermont. Like they were both in Vermont. Well, I guess Rümeysa was apprehended at Tufts, but I don't know why her court case also went to Vermont. But luckily, that's the reason why they're out. And Mahmoud Khalil, on the other hand, was very quickly sent to Jenna. So uncomfortable on campus. Yeah, I've seen this. Oh, dude, the Free Press is so awesome because they are such a repulsive outlet. Here, do you guys want to? Okay, I'm gonna issue a trigger warning, guys. You're about to hear some of the most anti-Semitic things that have ever happened in the history of Judaism. Okay, like Spanish Inquisition, the Holocaust. These are things that happen in the history of Judaism, and yet they do not light a candle to what I'm about to show you. Okay, this is actually the scariest type of anti-Semitism that has ever existed. So I'm gonna give you a trigger warning. I need you to understand. Okay, I need you to understand. You're about to see some horrific anti-Semitism. The brave social justice warriors over at Harvard have compiled tremendous evidence. Tremendous evidence. Oh, I think I know what this video is. Yeah. I reposted this. We'll get to that in a second. But they have Barry Weiss's operation. Barry Weiss, who presented herself as a free speech warrior for years, while also simultaneously, you know, trying to get college professors fired, have decided that they're going to compile this Harvard anti-Semitism report. Here, I got to stop delaying the inevitable. You got to see it. Okay.
I'm a Jew, and I've learned that that's enough to make me no longer worthy of their friendship or even basic kindness at school.
Bro, so much of this unironically turns into, I love Israel and people don't with me no more. Okay? That's it. It's just like, I love Israel and I can't stop telling everybody I love Israel. And when I do, people are like, ew, gross. They're doing a genocide. What the is wrong with you? And this is the highest stage of anti-Semitism. Okay? The highest stage of anti-Semitism is when people don't with me. Oh, it's so funny because I clocked this a long time ago. I told you guys, like, being pro-Israel is being like right wing. That's just what it is. Israel is a fascist state that is an apartheid state that's doing a genocide. But because in the Western world it is associated with a marginalized identity, Jews, right? That like there is at least some validity to anti-Semitism allegations. There is validity to anti-Semitism allegations. So people tune into that frequency in a way they normally never would listen to if it was a white Christian man being like, they're saying I can't be right wing on campus. Everyone would be like, shut the up, you baby. But because there is real anti-Semitism, this kind of association with like being pro-Israel can immediately be conflated. And then people actually do tune into that frequency. But because they've done this so much, now everyone's like, dude, what are you talking about? What the are you talking about, dude? It is not anti-Semitism that you happen to love Israel and people despise you for it. Okay? That's normal. I'm sorry that people have a conscience. Okay? I'm sorry that people see the truth. What a ridiculous thing to cry about. Anyway, let's keep going.
That's from Harvard's 311-page anti-Semitism report, which reveals what students already knew to be true, that the norm for Jews on campus is social exile, silence, and suspicion from their peers and professors. I'm Maya. I'm a reporter for the Free Press, and I just went through Harvard's anti-Semitism report.
Is this chick the cheese chick, by the way? Is this the lady that was like, I had to go to rehab for cheese? Is this a different lady? I feel like this is the cheese lady, right? Oh, someone sent me the link of the cheese. Yeah, the feta fiend, dude. The feta fiend. Yeah, the one that went to Cheese Hab. Is this her? Let's see. No, it's not. That's Adele Kojab. Never mind. Different lady. What is happening with these ads, man? Calm down. Never mind. Different lady. Different lady. Different lady. It would have been so much funnier. It would have been so much funnier if it was her. That would have been awesome. If she had to go to Cheese Hab and then the Free Press was like, you are the exact type of person that we need. You are the exact type of person that we need on our staff as a paid employee.
Here are some of the most disturbing things that I found. Nearly 60% of Jewish students at Harvard said they'd experienced discrimination, stereotyping, or negative bias on campus due to their views on current events. Jewish students also said that they concealed their identity from classmates and have been ghosted by longtime friends for expressing.
I'm pausing because I want to take a moment of silence. I want to take a moment of silence here. Okay. Do you understand the severity? Do you understand anti-Semitism? Dude. It's like, yo, I texted a girl and she ghosted me. This is Islamophobia. Okay. Be for real. Oh my God, dude. I can't believe it. I got ghosted by this girl that I was really into. This is the peak of Islamophobia. Okay? There's nothing more Islamophobic than this. Oh man, this is so up. Let me go cry to the referees because my friends don't with me no more because I keep defending the apartheid state doing a genocide. Oh my God. It's so funny because the report itself literally says due to their views. Okay? Like it doesn't say due to them being Jewish or due to anything else. It just openly says like it's because it's Israel. It's Israel. You can't like this is a self-own in some ways because their job here is not to actually like talk about anti-Semitism. Their job is to conflate anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. So because of that reason, they just keep cutting this propaganda where they say, oh, it's because like our views, like we should be able to be pro-Israel on campus without like getting any repercussions. Like people should still be our friends. Like this is a hate crime. And everyone that hears this, that's not like locked in with Zionism as a brain rot, looks at this and goes, what the do you mean? Okay, yeah, good. F you. It's so stupid. Like no Nazi, no real anti-Semite, okay, is going, oh, I was actually a fan of you and friends with you until I found out that you're pro-Israel. Now I actually hate you. Like, no, they go, oh, you're Jewish. I hate you because I'm a Nazi. Like I assume that's how it goes. You know what I mean? It's not like they're not making a distinction. They're anti-Semitic. Yeah, this was incredible what Felix said. How would you even remedy any of this shit in the report? Everything is either I made myself really scared or people texted me less when I said we need to halt Palestinian birth rates. Federally enforced play dates, friendship counseling sessions at gunpoint. The incels who dreamed of government-assigned girlfriends will find themselves Zionist-assigned friend zones. I don't know why I honestly expected anything besides this, but given the tone of the video, I guess I thought we'd at least get some insane, like they took janitors hostage type thing. Does Barry seriously think this will move people who aren't fully insane? Yeah, I think this also shows the insanity of Zionists in general. Like the way that they operate at this point is so far removed from like the average person's perspective. It's so far removed from the average person's perspective that they unironically think like, no, this is a banger. Like this is going to really change hearts. No, it just makes you look annoying. Honestly, even if you had a moral cause and you posted shit like this, it would be considered annoying. And it makes it even funnier that your cause is wholly immoral. It's just Nazi shit. It's akin to a white Christian on a college campus crying because he can't get pussy because he keeps sig heiling on college campus. Yeah, good. Sorry, you can't have friends while also being a goddamn Nazi. What the are we talking about? No one is going to look at this and be like, oh man, what? Your feelings were hurt? That's so crazy. Well, I guess we should kill 10,000 more Palestinian children and no one should feel bad about it. And if they feel bad about it, that's illegal. You're going to jail. Like, what are you saying? I'm not even kidding when I say this. Like, this is, even if she had like a moral cause, even if she was like a woke SJW, right? And she actually was like, you know, I started protesting on campus because gay rights were being taken away. And then people started shitting on me. People would still be like, okay, dude, well, you know, it happens. Like, I'm with you. Like, I agree with your cause, but, you know, it happens. You can't, like, demand legislation for people to be your friend, right? And she doesn't even have a moral cause on top of this. Like, the people that are crying here are literally crying because they're Nazis and people don't like them for being Nazis, not for any other reason, okay? I assume when you are being a Nazi, then yeah, your vibes are probably also atrocious.
Sympathy for Israel, or for simply appearing on an Instagram post with someone who did. At Harvard Medical School's Admitted Students Day, one student was told by another that Zionists are not welcome at Harvard Medical School. At Harvard Divinity School,
Yeah.
it was
Wait, I wonder why. Wait, I'm sorry. I wonder why someone would say that. How many doctors has Israel killed? Yeah, I feel like being a Nazi is diametrically opposed to saving lives. Okay. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. Again, whenever you hear Zionism, which is a fascist ideology, okay, it is an ethno-religious supremacist exterminationist ideology. It is inherently a fascist ideology akin to Nazi ideology. When you hear someone go, they said this about Zionists, substitute Nazis, and I wonder if that seems weird to you at all. If it doesn't, then you understand where people are coming from. It's so funny because, like, people will immediately turn around. People will turn around and be like, bro, but you don't understand. Like, it's all Jews believe this. Is like, no, they don't. And why are you saying that? You're insane. Stop saying that. You don't realize, because you're so locked in on this, like, you are so locked in on the previous modes of consideration that you think you can keep saying, you think you can keep up this conflation of Zionism and Judaism. Okay. And the more you do that, the more you actually create anti-Semitism, because you keep channeling, you keep telling every person that, like, no, Jews love this shit. They don't. Okay. They don't. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Oh.
Doctoral students said that the professor began a class about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict by telling students that the discourse is saturated with the Israeli narrative and that she had decided to, with a heavy heart, remove Israeli sources from the syllabus.
No! I'm sorry. Yeah. When we're covering the ongoing Nazi atrocities, we cannot actually, with a heavy conscience, with a heavy heart, we have decided not to do the pro-Nazi propaganda side as verifiably correct sources. We're not going to use the genocidal propaganda coming from the party doing the genocide when talking about this issue. Wow. No, this is illegal. Like, again, it's literally like, you got to look at both sides of the Holocaust, which is ironically what a lot of these Nazis used to say. They were like, oh yeah, we got to look at all sources on the Holocaust. We got to do both sides on the Holocaust. And that used to be discourse on college campuses from all these annoying little shithead professors that wanted to entertain reactionary ideology and misinformation.
During listening sessions with the Anti-Semitism Task Force, Jewish students spoke about Harvard-run privilege trainings, where they were told that they were deemed to be privileged not only by dint of being identified as white, but also because of their Jewishness, which...
You're at Harvard. You are literally the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%, regardless of your background. Yes. What the f are you saying?
Allegedly endowed them with an even higher level of privilege. Students reported that when they voiced concerns about bias, they were asked, who is more marginalized, Jews or Palestinians? In response to a...
No. What? Oh my God. Wait, are we... Dude, Ashkenazi Jews are not white in America is a take, okay? That's awesome. I can't even get past that point, which is so funny, okay? Like, this isn't the 1940s anymore, okay? This isn't even like the 1950s anymore. What the f are we talking about? American presidents keep saying America's a nation founded on Judeo-Christian values, okay? Jews in the United States of America, Ashkenazi Jews especially, which is the largest majority of Jews in America, are absolutely white. They are white, okay? What are we talking about? That's so insane. And not only that, but also... That's Adam Sphere embraces jokes about it. I know. Is she from the group saying Jews aren't safe in New York City? No, it's even funnier. They're saying Jews aren't safe at Harvard University, dude. Not even Jews. It's like saying Zionists aren't safe in Hollywood. Okay. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not even saying Jews. Like, take it one step further. Zionists, like, regardless of their background, not being safe in a place like New York or not being safe in a place like Harvard is so funny. What the f? Harvard is literally the State Department scouting program. It is literally it is basically the Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic to the MLB, okay? That's Harvard and Yale. What are you talking about? Yeah, people who really align themselves with current U.S. State Department foreign policy are so unsafe in the place where they get scouted from. Are you kidding me? What the are you saying? Yeah. You can't, there's no difference than saying like Christians are not safe in America anymore, okay? Christians are not safe in a Dallas mega church. Oh man, it's really up, dude.
And 2 new people who were killed at the Nova Music Festival. One student reported a close friend said, "I mean, I guess that sucks, but what did they expect?" Another person asked, "Do you believe in decolonization in theory or in practice?" An Israeli graduate student reported that one of his friends was told that it would hurt his career to associate with
It's just like, dude, we should, you're right. We should jail every single person. We should jail every single person. You're right. A college on a college campus, someone who was really mean to me, jail them, please.
Was told that it would hurt his career to associate with a Zionist and to be publicly associated with one. These are just some of the findings of the report based on 50 listening sessions with a total of about 500 students, faculty, and staff, as well as over 2,000 respondents.
So this study was really funny because apparently there was a Harvard professor who is Jewish who wrote a Guardian article and was like, they put me in the anti-Semitism study. I'm Jewish. What the is going on? Oh my God. Oh, it's all hearsay? Yeah, of course it's all hearsay. And also, the hearsay itself is like trying to make a mountain out of a molehill by finding like sometimes microaggressions, right? Like valid microaggressions. But I thought that we had already like, I'm an Israeli professor. Why is my work in the Harvard anti-Semitism report? Harvard is conflating Jewish identity with political loyalty to Israel. That's a dangerous mistake. When I first saw the Harvard report on anti-Semitism and anti-Israel bias, I didn't expect to find myself in it, but I did, albeit without my name, my scholarship, or even my identity as a Jewish Israeli academic being acknowledged. Yeah, that's the other side of it. Half of the people that they're putting in the report as being like anti-Semitic are most likely anti-Zionist Jews talking to Zionist Jews too. And it's like, wow, this was the most vicious smear I've ever gotten. Okay, the most vicious smear I've ever heard. It's like, dude, think about Felix Biederman, okay? Think about someone like myself versus someone like Felix Biederman, okay? Me having a conversation with like a Zionist student is going to be very different than someone like Felix having a conversation with a Zionist student. If you hear the conversation that Felix will have, you'll be like, that is the most anti-Semitic statement I've ever heard in my entire life. Anyway. Why do you spread misinformation about 5 fighters just being down by Pakistan? I never said 5. I said 3. Is it 5 now? Did it go up to 5? Also, why did you not talk about the terrorist attack in Pakistan shelling civilians in Poonch? I have not covered. I've not covered it enough. I didn't have time yesterday. But is it 5 jets now? It is 5. Oh, damn. That's crazy. Wait, why do you think it's misinformation? It's 0. Oh, they dropped 0 jets. Does it make you feel bad if it was any jets that were down? Is that what it is? I thought 3 was confirmed by French sources. It's misinformation. Do you think the nation of France is lying? Not personal. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't say 5. You said it. So now I'm beginning to think it's 5. I didn't think it was 5, but you came in real hot. So now I'm just going to go with maybe it was 5. I heard it was 10. I heard Pakistan wiped out the entire fleet. That's what I heard. Yeah, no, it's 10 now. Dude, chatter, the more... It's 0. Could you provide sources for saying 10? Oh, no, it's not. I'm saying every time you chirp, the number of jets goes up. The number of jets that were down goes up. Okay, so now it's actually 20. That's crazy. I can't believe they downed 20 jets, dude. That's what I've heard. My Nana call is 33 now. Hold on. I want to hear what he has to say. You're the one who's increasing the numbers. Then that's not political coverage. It's an agenda. Okay, well, now it's 30. Now it's 30 jets. Okay, every time you write in the chat, I'm just going to add extra jets. I'm with you, you idiot. How do you not understand? He hit me with the thumbs up. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe it, dude. Anyway, I know this. The report is compiled and published in response to widespread pressure from donors and pro-Israel advocacy groups. It claims to document a crisis of anti-Semitism on campus, but what it actually reveals is Harvard's willingness to redefine Jewish identity in a narrow ideological terms to exclude and erase Jews who dissent from Zionism. I know this because I'm one of them. For several years, I taught in the Religion, Conflict, and Peace Initiative at Harvard Divinity School. Our program approached peace building through deep engagement with histories of structural violence and power, with Palestine Israel as our central case study. Our students read widely, traveled to the region, and met with a range of voices, including Jewish Israeli veterans from Breaking the Silence, Palestinian activists resisting cultural erasure, and Mizrahi and Ethiopian activists challenging racism within Israeli society. It was by design intellectually and politically challenging, and exposed students to the complexity of the region and the diverse, often conflicting ways Jews and Palestinians narrate their past and imagine their futures. But according to the authors of the Harvard report, this was not legitimate scholarship nor responsible pedagogy. It was essentially simply anti-Semitic ideological indoctrination. Oh, amazing. How the report supposedly arrives at and justifies such characterizations of our program illustrates how slanderous distortions are routinely deployed to suppress the arguments and identities of the wrong kind of Jews. The report quotes from public events we hosted as a part of the RCPI, including a webinar in my book about American Jewish activists who engage in Palestinian solidarity work because of, not in spite of, their Jewish identity. Rabbi Brant Rosen, a Reconstructionist rabbi and founder of the Zedek Chicago, and Dr. Sarah Roy, distinguished scholar of Palestine and daughter of Holocaust survivors, offered thoughtful responses. I'm hearing a lot of anti-Semites on this list. Okay? All I'm saying is, you know, anti-Semitism is alive and well at Harvard, okay? If you learn about Palestinians at all as human beings, that's anti-Semitism. It's probably the highest form of anti-Semitism you can ever encounter. It is rampant. Oh my God.
An online survey, including 477 students who identified themselves as Jewish. You can read my full report at thefp.com.
Yeah, this is the FP. They also did the stupid sexy Hassan thing. This TikToker got a hold of their coverage and was making fun of them. Let's take a look.
Meet Hassan Piker, the 33-year-old streamer telling Gen Z that socialism rocks, Israel is a settler colonialist state, and Zionists are neo-Nazis.
By the way, what a way to introduce me, because 3 for 3. Like, everything he said is correct. Not because, like, everything he said is something that I've said that is correct, but also the things I've said are correct. So, yeah, I agree. I agree with that, okay? That's true. All bangers. 3 for 3. Thank you, sir.
Meet the Free Press, an organization that claims to be a new media company built on ideals that were once the bedrock of American journalism, showing ideals of honesty, doggedness, and fierce independence. When you take 2 seconds to look at their founders and editors, you find out that the founder is Barry Weiss, who you might have heard of from making documentaries about how she felt intimidated because a Columbia professor talked about Israel. Or Abigail Shrier, who is literally repeating Nazi-level anti-trans propaganda. There is nothing independent or dogged about this free press. It is founded by an avowed Zionist who has spent her career dogging upon anti-Zionists. The very academic engagement of Israel by a professor at Columbia who was literally hired to talk about the Middle East caused her to feel like a victim. This alternative, independent media organization, according to the Wall Street Journal, increased in 62% in viewership following the October 7th war. And that is because this organization was never meant to be independent or alternative. And it is exactly built on the ideals that were once the bedrock of American journalism. American imperialism and anti-queer degeneracy. So when you see shitheads like this Coming after Hassan Piker, when they will feel like they are victims, even when a Columbia professor talks about Israel, even when people dare observe that Israel's a colony doing apartheid, you know that he's doing something right. And just to be clear, I don't agree with Hassan on everything. I just think that when an organization that uses these obviously obfuscating language, free press, foundation of American democracy, honesty, doggedness, but literally spend all of their time defending Israel and providing an alternative, baseline, apologetic position on Israel, they have nothing valuable to add to a discussion. It is not a good faith critique. They're going after anyone that disagrees with Israel for any reason.
I don't know why he said I don't agree with Hassan on everything, because kind of feels like you should. Your enemies are actually absolutely insane. Hassan thinks telling Jews to go back to Auschwitz is hilarious. Once again, y'all are just flat out lying. Hassan was laughing at a fake radio transmission Israel used to justify the attack on a Gaza humanitarian aid ship. Israel admitted that they edited the call themselves, and Netanyahu was later forced to apologize for the attack. Classic. It's like, I hope you guys understand that there's no way you can deal with like Hosberus like this, okay? There's no way you can deal with Hosberus like that's a dedicated hate attack. I know most of these guys are. We did say they were going to clip that. I know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. Do you understand? Like, please read logs. You have to understand something. These guys, okay, our government's actions do not represent us. I'm not for Modi or for his fascism. 10 years of fascism doesn't undo multicultural, multi-ethnic identity. As an Indian, Hasanabi, sincerely hope you do not misunderstand my request to cover the... What? What is happening? The link you sent me is from an account that no longer exists. But in any case, you do understand that, like, the greatest example of this, because the ultimate goal here is to just get me to stop talking and is to try to deplatform me, right? Like, when I covered the Barstool story of the insane anti-Semitic sign that was held up that said the Jews, right? They literally clipped a screen grab of it to make it seem like I was actually in support of the sign with nothing, right? With nothing. Like they did not even add any context to it whatsoever. They just like are trying to let it sit as an anti-Semitic incident when it's me talking against anti-Semitism. As in, there's no way for me to talk about the issue without someone clipping it and maliciously manipulating the conversation. So it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to change the way I cover this stuff because I know that people are going to clip everything. I don't want to think about that all the time too. I don't want that to impact my commentary either. And you wouldn't want that either, trust me. What is this? Oh, this is about Fetterman. Before long, Fetterman began repeating himself, shouting and questioning, why is everybody mad at me? Why does everybody hate me? What did I ever do? And slamming his hands on a desk, according to one person who was briefed on what had occurred. As the meeting deteriorated, a staff member moved to end it and ushered the visitors into the hallway where she broke down crying. The staffer was comforted by teachers who were themselves rattled by Fetterman's behavior, according to a second person who was briefed separately on the meeting. I've got tears in my eyes from laughing, but honestly, this is the single most popular personality type now. We have a culture for and by people who go out of their way to antagonize many people as humanly possible and then cry about how they don't deserve to be yelled at. No, literally. I see the types of human frailty I never thought possible. Yesterday, I saw a guy about my age weeping because he could no longer stream with his dad because his military sexual assault conviction was discovered. Like, streaming with your dad is a human right, but this tops it all. Has this ever happened before? Has a U.S. senator ever lost it like this? I don't mean like the Kane attack on Summer or something like that. I mean looking your constituents in their eyes and going, I'm going to hold my breath and whatever happens next is your fault. Getting the day off from teaching language arts to 40 kids a period so you can be a therapist to your big sorrowful senator and his traumatized staff. Felix follow-up from 3 hours ago. To my most mentally ill friend who is absolutely terrifying his family, every impulse you feel is completely correct and realer than real. They are trying to get you in your need to freak out at them. They're out to get Fetterman, says Jacob Ben David Linker. Senator John Fetterman began shouting and slamming his hands on a desk in a meeting with the representatives from a teachers union, AP sources say. Dude, they need to get him out of there. They need to get this ogre out of there. He is literally Lenny from Mice and Men. I'm telling you right now, he's a danger to himself and others around him. I mean, every time he's behind a wheel, that's already a danger, right? It's danger zone. But he seemingly has found a way to also get contact CTE from being a legislator. He needs to stop. He's going to accidentally kill someone, okay? He's a big ogre who is very mad and his brain is dookie. Get him away. Why? Why is so much of the Democratic Party just basically people who are 85 years old or have the brain of a walnut? I hate this. I hate this so much. Why is it like this? Why do we have to deal with this? Like, why is this why is this unironically what American politics has become in 2025? Or it was this already, like the Brandonization of it all, the Dianne Feinsteins, the Jerry Connollys of the world, people who literally cannot walk a straight line. He's going to Benoit his family. I know he has a gun. That's the other thing. He has a gun. He's a gun owner, dude. Oh, I don't understand how America has become. I mean, I kind of understand it, but it still shocks me every day when I find out that this like well-oiled machine of death and destruction is operated by children, like people with children brains, people whose brain capacities are like very obviously diminished. Oh.
And the court's conclusion that Ms. Öztürk is absolutely not a danger to her community, not a flight risk, but an asset to her community. Right. Someone who's dedicated her life to her academic pursuits, to her completion of her PhD in the service of children, I think is a reflection of why the government's conduct in this case was just so objectionable. I'm going to let my colleagues speak, and I'm going to also read a statement from Ms. Öztürk's other attorney, who's with her currently at the Louisiana detention facility, and I'll read that statement shortly.
Being detained for 6 weeks for writing an op-ed in your school newspaper is a constitutional horror story. And as the court said today, her detention cannot stand. Today, the court decided that there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever of her dangerousness, and instead found repeated evidence of her peaceful nature. We are so glad that Rümeysa can continue to her studies, that she can return to her community that misses her so desperately. And I think we all heard directly from Rümeysa today that in a way that her light just shines through. She's clearly such a caring, compassionate person. And today we made good on the First Amendment promise of free speech, and Rümeysa is going home.
All right, we want to go back now to Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, can you just give us a quick reminder of exactly where this case stands right now?
So Rümeysa Öztürk is going to be released on bail. She also was previously ordered to be sent back to Vermont, and that's supposed to happen by May 14th. At the end of this hearing, the judge asked the government lawyer to let him know when she is released from the detention center and to keep him updated on the situation. Another thing that he pointed out is that he does have this ability to have an independent review of her case because she previously had been denied bond by an immigration judge. That court is part of the executive branch. But while he didn't see any reason to put conditions on Rümeysa Öztürk's release, he acknowledged that ICE may want to do so. So he said the government can submit proposed recommendations and that he may amend her release.
All right, Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much for your reporting and bringing us that breaking news.
Exclusive video you will only see here, showing a Worcester teenager pinned down in the street by ICE agents. We blurred the video because she is a minor, and scenes like this are becoming more and more common around the Commonwealth.
And we want to bring in NBC 10's Alicia Palumbo live in Worcester this morning. Alicia, obviously we see the video here. It was a very disturbing scene.
Very disturbing, Raul, but we want you to judge for yourself. We want you to take another look at that exclusive video and a listen to that exclusive video captured by our Telemundo New England cameras.
Stop! Stop, ma'am! Stop! Stop!
Definitely a chaotic scene on Eureka Street Thursday as Worcester police and ICE agents detained a mother and her 16-year-old daughter. That girl's face slammed into the ground as she was taken into custody. They have not been identified. Worcester police said officers were dispatched to the area for a report of a federal agent surrounded by about 24 people. When police arrived, they say the teen daughter was holding a newborn baby in her arms and standing in front of the ICE vehicle that was trying to leave with their mother inside. Officers told her she was endangering the baby, so she handed the newborn to a relative, but police allege as the ICE vehicle drove away, she ran after it and kicked the side of it. She was arrested and charged with reckless endangerment of a child, disturbing the peace.
Just normal stuff every day, dude. Just normal everyday things in a fascist dystopia. Love to see it, folks. Very cool, very normal. This is how it's got to be. Let me hit a couple yeah beasts up in this bitch. Yeah. No, I know the New York mayor got arrested. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, based. If you can't do the crime, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Yeah.
Conduct and resisting arrest. Also arrested was Ashley Spring of Worcester, who police said pushed multiple officers and threw an unknown liquid substance on them as they tried to arrest the teen. Spring faces several charges, including assault and battery of a police officer. We spoke with Spring moments before she was taken away.
ICE was here, the community gathered. We found out that they didn't have a warrant. They didn't have not just a judicial warrant, they didn't have a warrant at all. They wouldn't present it. And the community decided that these women were free to go, and the women decided to go and exercise their right to leave because they were not being detained. At that point, the police continued to try to brutalize them, to rip the baby out of the mother's arms, 4-week-old baby, it looks like. And the community tried to intervene and help them.
The city manager of Worcester said in a statement, the series of events was no doubt disturbing and the footage of a family being separated is harrowing. He insists that Worcester police were not assisting with the ICE detainment, but they were called in to try to de-escalate a chaotic situation. We're live at Worcester Police Headquarters. Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.
The NYPD says at least 80 people were arrested after pro-Palestinian demonstrators refused to leave.
This was also insane. This was also another insane thing that took place. Feds are reviewing Columbia University protesters' visas, says the Secretary of State. They did a demonstration. And Columbia's own like public health and safety cops that are supposed to be there to protect the students were beating the out of the students. They had like helicopters on top of Columbia swirling around. They are like, these institutions are not backing down from this. It seems to me like the less popular Israel gets, the more aggressive the admin is going to get, and the more aggressive the militant police is going to get to squash dissent by force. Like they literally are like, oh, you don't like what Israel's doing? Oh, you want to protest it? Okay, we're gonna kill you. Sorry, you just have to die now. This is how it's gonna go. Nothing else we can do about it. Nope, you have to do your 10, you have to do 3 Am Israel highs in the morning and 3 condom hummuses in the morning. You know? Look, there's still people going, they can't protest in the building. They can protest wherever the they want, dumbass. What are you talking about? Throughout the history of the United States of America, anti-war protesters have done way more aggressive shit. They've literally held deans at gunpoint. What are you talking about? Like, I hate this, like, well, you know, you're supposed to protest in the way that makes me feel good. Yeah, think about what they're protesting against, okay? And then really reconsider your careless coverage on the matter, your careless way of your careless indifference on the matter. What is this, like 18 months of endless child murder? Don't protest here, don't protest there. You know? You're not allowed to protest in any way. You can only protest in a way where I think it's appropriate. Okay, well. Yeah, protest in a way. Hey, by the way, you want to know how fraudulent all of this is? Because I'm not doing any of that, right? Like when I'm Twitch streaming, I'm not doing any of that. And these want me deplatformed too. So I guess it's actually not about how you protest. It's about just protesting at all. Do you understand? Like, think about that. I'm not going out there and overtaking student buildings or anything. And these dudes want me deplatformed too. They want me to also be silenced. So what is it? Meanwhile, the administration is entertaining revoking habeas corpus, and you're over here like, yeah, it's they shouldn't have been inside of the student building when they're protesting. Like, get the out of here, dude. Please be for real.
Columbia University's library. This all happened last night. Today, there was tighter security on campus, and as Lisa Rosner reports, the Secretary of State says the government is already reviewing the immigration status of those allegedly involved.
Chaos inside the reading room as people were studying for their final exams at Butler Library Wednesday. Columbia University says dozens of pro-Palestinian demonstrators would not leave and vandalized the building with disturbing slogans. That, coupled with 2 public safety officers injured and crowds refusing to disperse outside the school, administrators called in the NYPD.
Public safety was the most brutal they've ever been. There were concussions, there were broken bones.
The NYPD issued 78 desk appearance tickets for criminal mischief and 2 summonses. The school's acting president said the library reopened Thursday.
Columbia unequivocally rejects anti-Semitism. We will come together as a community to consider what civil disobedience actually is.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted on X, "We are reviewing the visa status of the trespassers."
Unless they take stronger actions, it won't be the last time. Regardless of what they do, if it's, vandalizing or just making a protest where they're chanting Intifada and from the river to the sea and all these things, it's all wrong.
Public safety stood their ground, did not let people leave without showing identification.
Parts of campus are already closed off as the school preps for graduation, and Thursday access was limited to those with campus ID or approved guests of faculty. Maria Del Grosso worked with Columbia Palestine Solidarity Coalition. She says this about the acting university president's comments.
Completely inaccurate, and it's absolutely to cover up the actions of public safety and the action of yet again calling the NYPD.
Columbia's president says she believes that most of the demonstrators involved are not affiliated with the university. In Morningside Heights, Lisa Rosner, CBS News, New York.
Hassan Reaction is one of the best ones in the React channel.